So Jimmy Butler's been suspended again. He's literally been suspended again. I cannot believe this. I do not believe this. Jimmy Butler has been suspended again. And if you guys are new to the channel, we are so close to 10,000 subscribers. We're trying to hit that by the end of the month. There is 4 days left? We're 230 off. So if we could manage to get to 9,800 by the end of the day, you never know. Like 3 days, we haven't even gained 50 in the last 3 days. So we get that would be insane. But Jimmy Buckets has been suspended, and this time, he deserves it. He is trying to get himself suspended at this stage. So Shams tweeted out, obviously they're suspending Jimmy. And then, Jimmy Butler walked out of shootaround after being informed the team is planning to not start him with Haywood Highsmith starting. Why would the team start him? He's about to be traded. He is literally about to be traded. He's trying to get himself suspended. He is actually trying to get himself suspended. There's no question about it. He is trying to get himself suspended. There's no other way. There's no other way about it. And I mean that. Like, there is absolutely no other way about it that Jimmy Butler's trying to get himself suspended. People are like, oh, he's such a child, shocker to nobody. It's like, basically, the team knows they're going to trade him. There's no point just starting him for the sake of it when, Haywood Highsmith might have to be their long-term starter. And this reminds me of the great, Liam Cooper. If any of you guys don't know about Liam Cooper, and this is how I feel about Jimmy Butler. This is how I feel. If you know anything about the great Liam Cooper, there are 2 quotes. First of all, it's to play for this club, you got to be invested in it. You've got to give your life for it. And certainly those in the stands will not accept anything else from that. And as a fan, I'm a fan of Leeds United Football Club. And it's always a case of if you don't give 100%, the fans will turn on you. And if you don't want to be here, as the great Liam Cooper said, if you don't want to be here, then fuck off. And look, that does not mean that Jimmy Butler is not like... And that's the thing where it's like, if Jimmy Butler wanted to tear up his contract, genuinely, if Jimmy Butler was willing, he's not willing to play, he's not willing to try, but if he was willing to tear up his contract, I think that he would tear up his contract. It wasn't about the money. He'd tear up his contract and go play for, he'd let himself be bought out for on the cheap and let him and go and play for the Phoenix Suns for no money. But Miami Heat statement on Jimmy Butler. Miami Heat is suspending Jimmy Butler without pay effective immediately for an indefinite period to last no fewer than 5 games. Suspension is due to a continued pattern of disregard of team rules, engaging in conduct detrimental to the team and intentionally withholding services. That includes walking out of practice earlier today. Let's start Haywood Highsmith. Haywood Highsmith is better right now than Jimmy Butler. Why? Because Haywood Highsmith shows up to work. Simple. These statements are amateur. He's been suspended. They have to give a reason for suspending him. They don't have to do it publicly if they chose to. It's the most expensive Christmas party no-show ever. Learn how to manage and respect your players. What do you mean respect your players? He's being paid $50 million. I mean that. He's being paid $50 million. What is the issue? They don't want to overpay a vet who is averaging... They don't want to overpay a 36-year-old averaging 17 points a game at max, which is completely fair. Completely fair. Obviously, that is what... That's what they're doing. And then you're not want to pay Jimmy. And then try to trade him. They're trying to trade him. They're like, we're not going to lose this trade. We're not just going to take anybody for you. You have to get we have to get something back for him. Which is an obvious thing. Like, you have to get something back for a player. So then, the Miami Heat are still paying Jimmy Butler $50 million. And Jimmy Butler's not showing up to work. So they're not paying him to not show up to work. And then when he was trying to sabotage the team, they were not paying him to sabotage the team. Simple. Like, they're not paying the guy to sabotage the team. So, yeah, I'm all like, well, look, you could argue 6 weeks ago, Jimmy Butler's in the right to be pissed with Miami. But since then, there is nothing that Jimmy Butler has done in the right. You cannot be on Jimmy Butler's side right now and be any sort of a rational person. You can't be on Jimmy Butler's side. And I mean this when I say this. Initially, yeah, Pat Riley was not perfect in everything he did. Obviously, there is no way that Pat Riley was perfect. No one would ever argue that Pat Riley made no mistakes. Pat Riley made a lot of mistakes. He was far from perfect. But at the end of the day, Jimmy Butler's, if Pat Riley was a 1 out of 10, was a 3 out of 10 bad, Jimmy Butler went to a 17 out of 10 for what he's done. Now, Jimmy Butler, the difference is what Pat Riley is doing, you could argue, it wasn't good. What Jimmy Butler is doing, the NBA owners could screw the players purely based on what Jimmy Butler is doing. And I don't think people realize that. This will be brought up in the new CBA. A player sabotaging a team, refusing to play basketball. There's a reason why the Players Association have not tried to get Jimmy any of his money back, because Miami have reasons. Miami have every single reason. They've had their reasons for why they are suspending Jimmy, and once they have their reasons, there is nothing, absolutely nothing that Jimmy Buckets can do. There is nothing that the NBAPA can do. If it turns out that he's not showing up to flights, he's walking out of practice, he's not trying, he's pretending to be sick and seeing out partying, all of that stuff is true. And that's an if. Some of it we know is true, some of it is still speculation. If all of that ends up being true, we're now at the stage where Jimmy, they can't do anything. There is absolutely nothing that they can do from the PA because of all the crap that Jimmy Butler has pulled this year. So anyway, yeah, let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. Do you guys agree with this? Do you guys disagree with this? Probably will disagree with this. You know what? At this stage, I think public opinion's gone against Jimmy Butler. Whereas it was a lot of pro Jimmy Butler at the start. I think at this stage, from everything we've seen, I think it's hard to be pro Jimmy Butler, for being honest. So yeah, a mad one. He just walked out of shoot-around because he was told he wasn't going to be starting the next game. Well, yeah, I'm sorry. If you are trying to sabotage your team and you've been suspended multiple times, in any league in the world, you'd be benched. You'd be benched. Why is it that it's a different story when it's Jimmy Butler? But no, he's trying to get himself suspended at this stage. He's trying to. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. Jimmy Butler is trying to get himself suspended. So anyway, that is the video. Thank you guys for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe.